What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Let me go ahead and put my collar up, man. Let me see that again. Let me see that again. Let's do that again. All right. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 661. Episode 661, sponsored by Midnight. All right, sponsored by Midnight. You've seen the Midnight commercial. Check out Midnight. Privacy matters, right? Privacy does matter. Privacy does matter. We'll talk more about Midnight and everything that Midnight is doing. Midnight is on a tour right now. The whole staff, the entire network is on a tour, on a goddamn tour. So shout out to them. By the way, for those who are on TikTok, I am still appealing from yesterday, 5 minutes before close. As you guys know, or anybody who's tuning in from TikTok, I got hit with another restriction. I have no clue what I'm doing, man. I've absolutely. I don't know what I'm saying wrong, man. I really don't know what I'm saying wrong. I don't know. But yeah, shout out to TikTok. Shout out to the Twitter community. I think half of crypto left. I mean, we're going to talk about the market overview. I think half of crypto left. I think honestly, half of crypto left. They're done. Absolutely done, finished. By the way, if you are on TikTok and on Twitter, reshare this live show. That's right, reshare this live show. I think I almost got Facebook and Instagram figured out. We'll have that up soon. I think I have it figured out. I think I have it figured out. 'Cause I'm going to get this shit done. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for shit anymore. Okay. I want everybody to see me. I want everybody to see me. No tie again today as well. Third day in a row, no tie. I'm not putting on the tie. I'm just not doing it until the markets recover. Or should I put on a tie? We can go to a vote. Should I put on the tie? Should I not? Market overview. The market looks like dog shit. That's the overview right now. Though I keep saying I'm bullish, right? I'm bullish on the market. I am bullish on the fucking market. Give me $40,000. Or today I've read so many awful fucking takes. Awful dog shit takes, man. Awful. Outright dog shit takes. Dog shit takes, man. Give me a second. Awful takes. And the crazy part is, I'm telling everybody I'm buying, right? I'm looking at the market right now, and I can put up the. Let's put up the market. Let's share what's happening here. Nothing wrong with that. Hold on, let's share. Let's show everything that's happening here. Go to CoinMarketCap. Don't worry, soon we will have something different. We're working on something different than CoinMarketCap. Shout out to CoinMarketCap, but we have something in the works. We have something in the works. Okay, so let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. It looks awful. It looks awful. But for a seasoned veteran, for people who have been in crypto, this is beautiful. Because now I can buy cheaper. I can buy cheaper. Fear and greed index is at 14. Extreme fear. We got the average crypto RSI oversold at 38.09. Total market cap is at 2.5 trillion. I mean, you were praying for Bitcoin at 73,000. You were praying for Ethereum at 2122. You were praying for BNB. XRP, all you XRP people were begging for it to come back down. Well, you got it, $1.52. Solana's at $91. I'm trying to figure out how much more Solana I can buy up here. Dogecoin at 10 cents. Cardano fell out of the top 10. It's at the 11th spot at 28 cents. Bitcoin Cash is in the 10th spot. I don't think that'll last long, but guys, man, this is all this shit right here. All this shit right here is absolute opportunity. This is life-changing generational wealth that you're looking at right here. If you have money, let's say you stop doing drugs, right? A lot of you guys do drugs. I think because with the way, and the only reason that I come to that conclusion is because some of the shit that you go ahead and put out here on social media, some of these videos, some of these posts, they sound like somebody who's smoking crack. Okay, like I'm just let's look at it, zoom out, look at some of these posts, think about some of these takes. You know, like there ain't no way you're writing this if you're not under the influence. So let's say you stop doing harmful shit to yourselves, right? And you take that money and you go into the market. Now you got motherfuckers out here, and I'm telling you, I made a post. You got motherfuckers out here. I told you so. It's going lower. Okay. If I buy at 73 and it goes to 69, guess what? I'm buying at 69. I'm DCAing. I know you're retarded and you don't understand what I'm saying, right? But I'm dollar cost averaging. I'm gonna sit out here. Okay, I'm gonna look at a chart. I'm not gonna get married to a chart. I'm buying. Because that's how wealthy people get more wealthy. They buy in the red. They buy in the fear. When the fear and greed index is at 14, they're buying. Okay? They're not shying away from the market. They're aggressively attacking the market. Am I the only one who's excited? Where did everybody go? I feel like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction when he comes into the apartment and he's looking around. But where's everybody? You only believe in crypto when it's green? Do you only believe in crypto when it's green? Serious question. It really is a serious question. Do you only believe in crypto when it's green? By the way, this show is not sponsored by Brickle, okay? But I forgot to go ahead and put this on, so I will do so. And if you do get men, because a lot of you are ugly, okay? A lot of you are ugly. Right? Am I Maybe I'm the only one that's able to laugh. Maybe I'm the only one that's able to laugh after all this stuff. But by the way, seriously, for all the ugly men out there and for all the 24-year-olds that look like they're 50, do yourself a favor and get the Brickle products, man. They do work. It really does work. It does a fantastic job. I've been using it. Okay. I'm not ugly or anything. I'm just saying I've been using it. And I think it's phenomenal. And I think that it might hold off the aging that you're going through. Anyway. And yes, somebody said, I think keyword is handsome, right? That should be the code, the promo code. If I do sign a deal with Brickle, it should be the promo code handsome. All right, back to it. Crypto bros, you disappoint me. You really disappoint me. Especially when I go ahead and I read the shit that you post out there. When I read some of your takes, they are absolutely horrible. They are terrible. They're absolutely awful. Dog shit takes. So again, this is all you don't have to buy $73,000 of a Bitcoin. You could buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't got to buy a whole Ethereum. You don't got to buy a whole Solana, man. But just start accumulating. By the way, if you only have $1,000 to work with, you better keep your job, regardless of this type of market, bull market, bear. You need to continue to work at IHOP, okay? And you need to continue to ask your customers whether or not they want decaf or regular, okay? Like that's what you need to continue to do until you go ahead and get your game up. That's real advice, okay? You don't need to be buying no courses, okay? You don't need to be buying no courses. You are in no position to buy a course because you have no money to go ahead and execute anything that's being told to you. I'm serious. A lot of you are working at IHOP, McDonald's, Burger King, Five Guys. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the key thing is there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. But you guys think you'll quit your jobs, and a lot of guys have quit your jobs. You race into the crypto industry and you believe that you're going to make $3 million in the next 3 days. That's not going to happen. Your expectations are absolutely wrong, and you've been sold a manual or an ebook by a crackhead. Actually, they're not a crackhead, but they are a phenomenal salesperson. You're going to have to go through pain in order to win. You just have to go through pain in order to win. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with learning the game. Okay? And there's a lot of people that make money on both sides of the markets, whether it's bull or bear. I don't believe we're in a bear market. From this standpoint, let me go ahead and break down why I don't believe. And somebody's going to say I'm contradicting myself. But here it goes. Bitcoin, institutional run. So we all know, as for Bitcoin, it's all been about an institutional run, right? Every single institutional player, anybody with money, has been buying up Bitcoin. Okay? Has been like, they've been doing what Michael Saylor has been doing. They're buying up, they're holding. That's it. And then you have people who have accounts with BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard, whoever. They're buying in. All right, cool. So let's put Bitcoin to the side. But people say, well, what's happening with Bitcoin? Why is it going down? We'll get to that. Everything else, altcoin season, because that's where the money really is made, respectfully, because you're going to get like a 1-2x on Bitcoin. The rest, if you go and participate in the altcoins, you have a chance to make a 5x, a 10x, a 20x. So that's where a lot of people take their money and they'll take it and they'll bet 50% of the net worth on these altcoins, which is fine. A lot of people have been successful using that strategy. We arrived, I'm going to say this again, we arrived too early to the party. We have read the numbers wrong. We have been in a bear market for the last 3.5, 4 years. If we're going to be honest, right? Let's be honest about everything. We have been in a bear market. We have been, and repeat after me, we have been in a bear market for almost 4 years. Altcoins haven't done anything. They haven't broke all-time highs. Forget about the shitty altcoins. I'm just talking about, let's look at the top 100 on CMC. They haven't broke all-time highs. Exception, maybe just 6 or 7, which I always say. Only 6 or 7 or 8 went ahead and tapped their all-time highs. Otherwise, they didn't really do shit. It wasn't something incredible. Chainlink hasn't broke its all-time high. Polkadot hasn't broke its all-time high. I can keep going. Cardano, a lot. I'll name every single body. Nobody has broken their all-time high and really smashed through it. Because the macro is way ahead of the price. And we've been stuck in a market which is coming shortly out of a bear. I believe it. We're coming out of a bear. For the altcoins. You're not going to, nobody on the, I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm willing to listen. But you are not going to tell me that we had a cycle where the altcoins didn't run. For anybody who's been around, this is not bull-tart language, okay? This is zoom out. Let's zoom out and think about this. We had a bull run with no altcoin season. You're telling me that all the phenomenal altcoins will not run or did not run in this bull market that you speak of? Think about what I'm saying. Seriously, think about what I'm saying right now. If we had an altcoin season, along with along with Bitcoin running, we had all the altcoins run, and this started happening, I would tell you 100% we are heading into another year and a half to 2 years, depending on this new structure We're in like in a bearish market. I would say that. I would agree with everybody. But I can't sit here and just agree with the crowd for engagement, likes, and retweets. No, because it's not true. It isn't true. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 661. I don't know. I'm about to hit episode 666. That's just weird. Should I just skip that one? That's just weird. But welcome to everybody who's joined in. Shout out to the Twitter community. Shout out to the X community. Shout out to YouTube. Much respect. Listen, I can tell right off the bat what is happening in crypto via my engagement. I could tell right away. So if you go, and I blasted people on Twitter today. If you listen to anybody on Twitter give a take, you will most likely go broke. I'm dead serious on that. I believe that if you listen to people on Twitter, you will absolutely end up on welfare. And you're thinking, well, why is he saying this? Well, because they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And you can clearly see they're using ChatGPT or Claude, fucking Google Gemini, Grok to go ahead and ask them to push out a chart and a thesis on why we are in a bear. I'm telling you. If you anywhere but crypto Twitter, people are kind of rational. They're looking at this and they're saying, look, we're not in a bear market. Or we're coming out of a bear market. That's the language that's being used outside of Twitter. We're not in a bear market. We're in the middle of a bull market, or we're coming out of a bear market. That's the language. If you go on to crypto Twitter, you would probably think the world is ending. You would think that Bitcoin is literally going to zero. And I hate using the word literally because that's what dumbass people, only dumb people use the word literally. And have it in their vocabulary. But like, for real, on the real talk, if you go onto Twitter, and you listen or you read anything that's said on there, you would think that we are heading to zero. And everybody's fighting with each other. The drama. But you know what? It's not as bad as before, though, because a lot of people left. Crypto Twitter eats itself. Honestly, it eats itself. It's as divided as our current political atmosphere. That's what you get on crypto Twitter. It is that nasty. You have people in crypto that are praying for people to fail. Somebody on TikTok said David loves the drama. I don't like drama. You know what it is? I speak facts. People hate facts. I'm blunt. I'm very blunt. People hate bluntness, so they attack. So I smack back. Anyway, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was a promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promised to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Welcome to the breakdown as we continue to level up the show. The graphics, the videos, the commercials, the ads. If you are looking, a lot of people are reaching out for partnerships. You can go ahead and, if you're looking to go ahead and partner with the DG brand, go to DavidGokhshtein.com. I was about to say David Goggins. Go to DavidGokhshtein.com and there's a form you can go ahead and fill out and somebody will get back to you. Also, people ask me or have been asking me for years about a mentorship program. You can also go on to DavidGokhshtein.com and go to the mentorship page and fill out the form. There you go. There you go. I literally almost said David Goggins. I almost said David Goggins. I literally did. Almost said David Goggins. Shout out to the TikTok crew. Shout out to the Twitter crew. A lot of people tell me that they listen to me as they work out. As they work out, which is, it blew me away when people said, I actually listen to you when I work out, because I don't believe many people actually work out. I believe a lot of people think that by lifting up a remote control or their mouse, they are doing what I do after I'm done working for the day. Anyway, at 12:45, we'll have Tony Edward on here from Thinking Crypto. We'll chop it up, talk about the markets. We have Alexander coming on, talking about things going on in Iran. And right now there's a situation out there, obviously. There's a situation. By the way, this whole, I'm thinking and sitting back. Just yesterday, Donald Trump signs government funding to keep the government open. And now we're like, what? We're another few weeks away from a government shutdown. What the fuck are we doing here? Are these people working for us or no? Are these people really working for us or no? I really don't believe that they're working for us. I'm so tired of this government shutdown shit. Get your shit together. Get your shit together already. Get your shit together. So anyway, to end what I was saying about crypto, if it goes down, let it go down. For those who have money, congratulations. Congratulations to me. I'm looking at this, please. By all means, go down. Go down. Go down some more. Go down. I want Bitcoin at 69,000. I like the number 69. Why not? Why not? I'm going to look right into the camera. You don't believe in crypto. That's right. If you're listening to me, You don't believe in crypto. If you're watching me, look into my eyes. You don't believe in crypto. I don't even know what you're doing here. I don't know why you quit your job to come here. You haven't bought a single fucking token or coin within your time here in the crypto ecosystem. Why are you here? You could be making more money at Five Guys. Some of you girls that come on here every single day with your GMs, adding nothing more than a GM, and or some just put their pictures out there. Why don't you just take your pictures and put them on OnlyFans? You make more money. You take so awful. Let the real women be around here. Let the real women that know blockchain, that know policies, that have gone to DC and sat down with senators and political figures to advocate for Bitcoin, let them go ahead and talk about crypto. Let them talk about regulation and the ecosystem. I don't want your slop on my goddamn feed. Even when I block, I see it. I mute, I see it. And some of you men, you need to be working like roadside assistants. Some of the men in crypto, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have absolutely no clue what's happening. We literally have a shortage in roadside assistance. AAA is hiring. Please, do me a favor. I speak for everybody. Do me a favor. Get the fuck out of crypto and get to work. Because we have a lot of people that are, due to the fact that the government is moving mad slow, and I'm talking about at the state level, these democratic states, we got a lot of potholes out here. And we need roadside assistance. We absolutely need roadside. You do not need to be in crypto. You bring nothing, no value to crypto. Zero. You want to talk about me? I'm talking about you now, bitch. I've never seen people within a space get so excited for something to fill. It's you, crackheads, that I can't stand. Forget about numbers and market caps. I'm watching some of the most brilliant innovators within our space creating awesome fucking protocols. And you have these absolute rats within our ecosystem praying for the downfall of people who created protocols that have benefited their pockets. Well, some of these guys, like I said, are broke as fuck. And they play Fortnite all day. They haven't taken a shower for weeks or even months. And their only job is to come on to crypto. Specifically crypto Twitter and bash. And now I've seen some of you guys. I've seen some of your writing. I've seen the way I really have watched the way you've talked. All of a sudden, you guys went from a 6th grade vocabulary to an MIT fucking degree. How does that work? We know what you're using, you ChatGPT motherfuckers. We know exactly what's happening. Bye. you will come back to episode 661 in a few months from now, and you will say, this guy who has a show every day at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called The Breakdown, who is absolutely ridiculously good looking, was saying bye, and that's what I should have done. Bye. Bye while it's boring. Bye while it's uncomfortable. Bye in the blood. When there's blood in the streets, buy. Look at every single successful investor, every single wealthy person who has ever made money. They have only bought in the red. They've bought companies in the red. Warren Buffett, as much as I don't like him for his crypto takes, he has done everything possible to create wealth in the red. In the red. By the way, somebody said this on TikTok that they are waiting to contribute to my campaign when I do run for president. I'm telling you, I would really deport. I'm telling you, you think Trump is bad? I would deport every single no coiner. Every single person in crypto that doesn't have any skin in the game would be deported. I would literally deport them. Every single one of them. Every single one would be deported. Make no doubt about it. And I deport their family members along with them. So they're not by themselves. I would deport them and their family members so their family members can beat the shit out of them for years to come. That's exactly what I would do. 100%. 100%. For those that are new to crypto, here's my message to you. For those who have taken a chance on themselves, who have bet on themselves, because this is what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs, if you are a true entrepreneur, I consider myself an entrepreneur. I know what it feels like. I know how uncomfortable it is to chase your dreams, to have friends tell you no, to have the whole world against you, or that's how it feels. The climb, the grind, the no vacations, the no days off, the 24/7 building and chasing your dream. I know what that is. I know what that is. I know exactly what it is. I consider you guys entrepreneurs. Anybody who's taken that step to leave whatever job, whatever you were fucking doing before. Like, you might look at the market right now and you might be scared. You might have put $20,000 into the market and you might be frightened. You might be thinking it's over. Or you're thinking, holy shit, I over leveraged. I over allocated. I don't have money to my name. Which I wish whoever brought you into this space would have told you, hey, you need to at least have enough money. You need to at least have enough money to survive for the next 2 to 3 years. So hypothetically speaking, this is how you would approach crypto. If you're going to go in, you put away money besides dry powder to participate when you have events like this, when the market's going down. You would put away enough money to survive, right? To pay bills, to pay for a trip, whatever it is. Let's say you put away $30,000 for the year, the 30, 60, 90. You put away $90,000 so you can pay rent and all this good shit, right? So $90,000 is put away. You can go ahead and make sure that bills are paid, right? And then you put away, let's say, another 50 grand just in case you have days like this. And that 50 grand should come from profit taking. But anyway, we'll get into that. But let's keep it short here. You have enough money put away. You have enough money put away to where you're not thinking about liquidating your assets. That's the position you need to be in. Now, you might not have learned this yet, but you're learning it now. A lot of people haven't learned this from previous cycles, and they continue to round trip and liquidate their assets. But that's how people who make money in this space go about winning. If you only have $1,000 to invest into the markets, you don't belong in the markets full time. You don't. You belong working in 9 to 5 and then participating. Like if you only have $1,000 to your name, you need to be working. You need to be working. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Whether it's Uber, Instacart, whatever it is, I'm not putting you down either. But you need to be working. That's what you need to be doing. And working to where when you get that paycheck, you can go ahead and go into the market. You work and you can put it into the market. And you're not stressed out and you allow it to build out. But if you have $1,000 to your name, you shouldn't be participating in any market. You should be thinking, is it enough to go ahead and pay the bills that I have coming this month and the rent? $1,000? And I'll have some people say, well, hold on. Dave, I want to bet on myself. I got $1,000 I want to bet on myself. Yeah, you also don't want to live under a bridge. You also don't want to sleep next to some other homeless person on a used mattress with a used ripped up blanket because you wanted to bet on yourself with absolutely no game plan. $1,000 is going to get you nothing. $1,000 gets you nothing. Just because somebody went into Pepe with $128 and turned it into millions, that doesn't mean that's going to be you. Just because somebody put $100 into Verge and made $2 to $3 million doesn't mean that's going to be you. Anyway, I'll be right back after this commercial break. 12:45, we have Tony from Thinking Crypto coming on. We'll talk about the markets.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Welcome back to the breakdown. Episode 661, sponsored by Midnight. Sponsored by Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. They're on a tour. Seems like the entire network is on a tour. So good for them. They're having fun. Charles is on. I don't know if you heard Charles. Charles said he's going to sell all his Lambos. He's going to sell his Black Hawk. He's going to sell his Black Hawk and everything that he has to go into the markets. That's what we're talking about. Conviction. Believe in something. Believe in something for once in your life. Anyway, it is it was 12:45 when we went to commercial break. It is 12:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are joined by, let's bring him right in. Let's bring in Tony, who is the host of Thinking Crypto. Tony, what's going on? How's everything, man?
David, great to see you. Great to be here with you.
Great to see you again too, man. I went on your podcast I feel like it was 5-6 years ago.
I know it was the OG days, right? It's been a while, so it's good to see you, man. And boy, lots has changed in the market.
Absolutely. Speaking of the market, what do you think about it right now?
Oh man, David, it's painful, right? To see other asset classes pump and hit new highs like precious metals, and crypto seems to be left behind. But it seems as though there may be some sort of catch up, because if you look at the signals, the metrics, and you take emotions out of it, we are near oversold levels and levels that we've hit the bottoms at in previous bear markets, like the FTX collapse in December 2022, December 2018, Bitcoin hit 3K after a massive run up in 2017. So there's some positive signals, but of course, the chart action is brutal.
I see. I obviously follow you. You post on X, formerly known as Twitter. You've been putting out charts out there. I also believe that we are extremely oversold. Why is, in your opinion, why is Twitter so toxic?
David, it's funny. It's human nature playing out, right? It's the emotions. It gives us a platform to just unload. And unfortunately, I think people take the liberty of unloading too much, right? So if they're feeling frustrated in the market, they're going to blame everybody and they're going to tweet. So that's the great thing about the platform, but it can get toxic because you're seeing everyone's burden, their pain, right? Whether it be for politics, crypto, or something else. I don't like the guy down the street, or Starbucks sucks, or whatever, right? So it's amazing. It is truly the town hall where you can just come out and say whatever you want, which is good in a way, but also I think you got to filter it. I have to filter it out sometimes. I use the for you section instead of my followers versus the for you, because the algorithm can pick up something even if you just like something or comment, but you're not necessarily looking to go into that topic fully. So you got to be careful. You got to detox yourself sometimes.
Yeah, I make sure not to accidentally click on anything, because you know what happens. You get stuck in that algorithm for days and stuff.
Exactly.
All right. What right now is just I go on and I watch, and people are, to me, I think a lot of people are giving just absolutely terrible takes. I don't know if they're getting it from ChatGPT or if they're asking Claude, what can I go ahead and write here to go ahead and, look like I'm sort of smart and I'm educated from MIT and I understand economics. Do you feel, because I've said this earlier in today's show, do you feel like first of all, we never had an altcoin market. So I'm going to start with that. I don't believe we ever had an altcoin market. I believe that we have been in a bear market, and we're just realizing that we are maybe coming out of a bearish time within that ecosystem. What are your thoughts there before I go with a second?
Yeah, this is the big question. To your point, this cycle is different. I know that's the cliche statement, and people are going to throw mud at me and say, Tony, we've heard this before. But let me lay the facts down. No emotion. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high before the halving. It never did that in its history. We have ETF and digital asset treasury companies buying. We never had that type of demand in the history of Bitcoin, right? And despite there might be inflows and outflows, that's just ebbs and flows of the market and business cycle. Plus, after the halving, the year after the halving, it usually ends in a green year. And it's usually that's the blow off top year. We ended the year in a negative, if you look at the yearly candle. So that's different from all the other previous bull markets. Not to mention, we have a kind of unique environment where President Trump, and then this is not a Trump bashing statement, it's just simply he has been involving crypto a lot. And unfortunately, that turns a lot of people off. So retail investors, because the country is divided politically, and if they see Donald Trump likes Bitcoin, oh, that means I must hate Bitcoin, right? That's just the mentality of people. So when he launches meme coins and all these businesses, we see the opposition use that to their advantage, saying, see, look what he's doing, right? That has turned a lot of people off. So I feel like that has been a headwind, not to mention if we saw at the beginning of 2025 what happened with the tariff announcement. This is not to say tariffs are wrong or right, just simply the announcement scared markets. And we had a massive crash for the stock market, crypto, and much more. So it took us a long time to come out of there. So David, if we had a major run up in Q4 of 2024, Trump gets elected, everybody's excited. A natural healthy correction was in the cards for us, but the tariffs dug us down deeper into that hole, and it took a while to come out. Not to mention, you look at the macro signals. When we topped out in 2022, the Fed came out, Jerome Powell came out and said, hey, we're raising rates, we're doing quantitative tightening. The opposite is happening now. In December, Jerome Powell said, we're ending quantitative tightening, we're launching QE, and liquidity is starting to rise. And plus, we've been cutting rates. So things are different. And that's where even myself being here since 2016, I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I believe in the statement of time in the market is better than trying to time the market. Yes, is my portfolio down? Sure. But also I see incredible adoption of crypto, and I know it will catch up eventually. Markets don't go down in one direction or up or down forever. They're cyclical. And once you keep these principles in the back of your mind, you can step back, take away the emotion, oh man, my portfolio is down, everybody's depressed. Just step back, go touch grass, and then you're going to see the market rebound.
Do you believe, and you talk to a lot of people, you have a successful show. By the way, everybody should be following and tuning into Thinking Crypto. When you speak to, and you speak to a lot of institutional players, what are they telling you? Because I've spoken to quite a few. What are they telling you on your side?
David, they are excited. They're building, their heads down building. They're not concerned about the short-term price volatility. And this is the age-old story, right, David? Smart money institutions, they have the long-term view. They buy when there's blood on the streets, and they sell the euphoric blow off top. That's what I've been trying to teach people, and tell them, hey, don't listen to Jim Cramer. Don't get caught up in the emotions. The emotional roller coaster is what hurts people, because they see something drop and they're like, oh my God, I need to sell, right? They see something pump. Oh, I need to go buy. No, you're doing it wrong. You got to do the opposite, right? But the institutions, they see what's on the horizon, David, and that is there's more regulatory clarity. Every institution must have a crypto blockchain strategy now. It's not a question of, maybe next year. No, they need to have it, and they're all going in. So whether they're launching a stable coin, they're tokenizing, they're doing custody, they're launching an ETF, right? This is the path forward. Everybody's on the same track, and even the people who are skeptics and haters like Vanguard and Morgan Stanley, they've all capitulated. So this is where I look at that and I'm like, man, that is so bullish. Look at the adoption we've seen in Q4, but the price went the opposite way. And I'm like, I've seen this story before. I'm going to hold and buy the dips. Not financial advice, but if you have a short-term outlook and you're like, hey, I'm going to buy Bitcoin today and next month I need to be a millionaire, you're doing it wrong.
Tony, speaking of, because you mentioned regulation, the Clarity Act. Now, I'd rather have no bill passed than to pass this current bill that's been amended, I don't know, 126 plus times. I don't know. At this point, I've lost count. The Clarity Act that was presented was great. Now it seems like it benefits the banking system rather than retail. Kind of like, in my opinion, it gives the banks control and positions them to, I'm going to use this word and people will be like, relax, but like kill off DeFi and kill off people from unbanking themselves. Because like, if some of the things that were originally stated on that bill were to pass, then why would people need banks? So like, what do you think there?
I think you're spot on. And I absolutely agree with your statements, because to your point, David, what the banks are trying to do, they're not trying to kill crypto. They want to control it. So that is, for example, we want the blockchain, we want to tokenize, we want to sell you crypto, we want to custody for you, but we don't like that you can go outside of our institution and ecosystem, go through a DeFi, decentralized exchange, and bypass us. So that's the name of the game. They want to collect the fees. Because you think about it, David, they've been ruling the markets for a very long time and ruling currency. Well, now, David, you and I can transact outside of them. We don't need them. And of course, they're the incumbents, right? The disruptions at their doorstep. So they're trying to kill whatever they can. And the funny thing is, they're against stablecoin yield, that you can go earn a higher yield on Coinbase or these platforms while they give you next to nothing in the basic savings and checkings account, right? 0.01% breadcrumbs. But
Crazy.
Diamond keeps his big fat bonus checks at the end of the year, right? They park their money at the Fed or wherever. They get the incredible returns of like 4% or higher, and they just give you 0.1, right? It's ridiculous. But in one way, I understand why they're fighting, because this technology absolutely disrupts what they're doing. But we have to fight as an industry. To your point, I think we can't let this bill go through, because it's Elizabeth Warren is throwing out her thing. She's working for the banks, and they want to stop DeFi. If you remember Citadel's letter to the SEC, right? They want to control it. They're not against blockchain. They just want to control it. It must be within our walled garden.
Well, I've always said that, and multiple podcasts, this show, they don't want to destroy crypto. They want to control it. And everybody has this perception. No, they want to destroy it. No, they don't. They understand how much more money they can make. They want full control. They don't want you to have access and figure out what the value of money is. How does that help the banking system if you understand how money works? That means, you just said it. I mean, here we have, let's say, Coinbase that can offer you 7% on your money, yet you're being offered by your bank the 0.00003% kickback. They're using your money to trade and make money. You don't get a commission check. No, you get a maintenance charge at the end of the month for using an account with your local bank. How does that even make sense? Give me a commission check.
Exactly. They've lobbied for years, and they've set up this construct, right? So you get screwed. And then the big financial education aspect, which they don't teach people, is that you need to put your money in assets to outpace debasement and inflation. Crypto was my financial school or college, if you want to call it that, where I finally realized, wait a minute, you mean the cash I'm earning and I haven't been putting it in any assets? Sure, I had a 401k with my job and things like that. But in order to have some sort of wealth later on in life, I need to have assets. And they don't want you to know. They say, just put it in our account, David, right? Just let it sit there. And like you said, they take the money, they go leverage it up, they go invest it, and they make the big bucks.
It's crazy. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 661. I'm joined here by Tony. Tony has a phenomenal show. Check it out. It's Thinking Crypto. And while we're here and we're thinking about crypto, what do you think happens moving forward? So do you believe, like I believe, that the macro is ahead of the price? That plain and simple. That's how I look at it. I think for the last few weeks, I've sat back and I said, you know what? When you look at everything's so bullish, everything's built out well. The macro is ahead of the price, and that's all it is. What's your stance there?
I'm in full agreement. And I have been under the impression for a long time that Bitcoin was driven by the halving. Does it play a part in the price shock? Sure. But Bitcoin and crypto are just risk assets. And, Paul Tudor Jones said it right back in 2020. It's the fastest horse in the race. It has outperformed the NASDAQ, gold, and silver, and so forth. Even if gold and silver had this massive run up recently, it took 14 years for gold and silver to do that, right? Even longer. So crypto is the fastest horse. And it's a 24/7, 365 market that's truly global. It's the first global asset class. I know some people are going to say, what about gold? You can't tell me the real-time supply of gold and what's moving and who has it in their vault. That doesn't exist. But with crypto, you can see that data on the blockchain, right? How much Bitcoin, which went to what wallet, who might be the whales, all these different things. And to your point of the macro, I believe liquidity is what drives risk assets, and liquidity is picking up. We got some ISM data this week that looked very good, the manufacturers data, and that's an indicator of the economy and things along those lines. Plus, you got other central banks. You see their M2 is rising along with the US. Japan, they did a stimulus bill. So I believe all these things will make its way into the market. Not to mention, what I mentioned earlier about Bitcoin and many altcoins being oversold. Again, markets are cyclical, and the whales, the market makers know what they're doing. So it could have been, for whatever reason, what happened in October 10 crashed everything, and they're like, you know what, dump it all. But they're not going to dump it to zero, right? Higher highs and higher lows, guys. Remember that. Zoom out, and we're going to see a reversal, and they're going to pump it. And then, David, the narrative is going to change. Crypto's getting ready to pass legislation. The biggest banks in the world are built. It's going to be pushed out there, and then people are going to forget this moment, just like they forget December 2022, just like they forget December 2018, right? It's all cyclical. So be patient, and if you're feeling depressed, ask yourself why. Are you is it something you need the money right now? Well, that's a different situation versus investing and having a long-term strategy.
What do you think happened? I'm gonna serve you these questions. They're not tough. What do you think happened on 1010?
That's a great
There's
question.
a lot of shit that's being spoken about on social media. But what do you think personally happened on 1010, 2025?
It's so hard to answer that question because I see the obvious things that people are saying, Binance, and the big liquidation there, and that caused kind of a domino effect. But at the same time, we've seen big liquidations. What happened in the COVID crash, March 2020? What happened at the beginning of 2025? Tariff announcement. So I don't know if there's some manipulation behind that, David. I believe there's something going on because when you look at the on-chain data, you're seeing Binance continues to sell, and they're the world's largest exchange. Now, they're not the only ones, but I think we're using them as an example, right? Or the measuring stick, and they continue to dump. And I don't think they're dumping because they want to lose money or whatever. I think they're just trying to reset the market. And look, it's manipulated, right? They're working with the market makers. So people get mad. They say, look, they're setting it to Wintermute. They're setting it to this. Well, yeah, that's what the market makers do. The point is the why. It's not the execution, the why. And I think there's some sort of manipulation there. Maybe they're waiting for the market structure. They want to time it with that to then pump it again, right? And then you have people FOMOing, and the people who gave up the press will FOMO in, and it's the same story over and over, David.
Do you think CZ gets a bad rap within our space?
Man, it's a lot of factors. I interviewed CZ a couple of times years ago. The impression I got, he was a humble guy, genuine guy. Is he going to do what's best for the exchange? Maybe, do some things under the table? I think so, right? It's about survival for some of these guys. I want to keep the status of the world's largest exchange. I think people are a little bit turned off by his pardon and everything that follows Trump. Again, this is not an anti-Trump statement, just simply the facts, right? And how it's perceived. Sometimes perception is often greater than reality, right? That, okay, CZ got a pardon, and then all of a sudden the market starts tanking and Binance is selling. And then you mentioned earlier, everybody starts piling on, it becomes toxic. And it becomes this thing where, man, we need a reset. We need some positive price action to get people out of this mindset. So I think he does get a little bit of a rap because it's the largest exchange, but Binance is not the only one selling.
You're right, because there was Coinbase was selling, there was a bunch of other exchanges selling, but it seems like everybody went and sought out CZ. Like whether you like CZ or not, it was just like it's CZ's fault. So like, do you want to blame him for gold and silver when gold and silver crashed also? Like it was just one of those like, all right, I get it. You don't have to like him, but you bring up a very good point. I have one more question, but you bring up a good point about Trump, the Trump factor. Trump, like to me, when you look at everything that's been done, right? We lived under the Biden era. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it is what it is. Everybody knows what I am, but I can look at both sides of the fence here and say, look, the Democrats have done some good things. The Republicans have done some good things when they're focused on doing good things for the American people, right? So like that's the biggest factor. The Trump thing that you just said, it makes a lot of sense. People, 77 million people voted for Trump, but then you have a lot of people that didn't, that are sitting there and saying, you know what? Maybe everything that Trump says about crypto, it's bad. So let's go ahead and make sure that we fund the hell out of it, especially mainstream media. You had Rachel Maddow come on and talk about Bitcoin. She absolutely knew nothing about Bitcoin, but she went ahead and ripped it apart. So your take there on Trump, if you want to elaborate, that's a really good point, man, and it's not talked about a lot.
Yeah, and look, I think Donald Trump is net positive for crypto. I wish him and his family didn't go so aggressive with crypto businesses. It's okay for Trump to say, you know what, the United States needs to be the crypto capital of the world. I think that would be fine. The problem is, to your point, the opposition, the Democrats are going to say, let's watch everything he does. Oh, Eric Trump is doing this. Oh, Donald Trump launched a coin. And look, I'm fine with his kids being involved with crypto. I didn't like the Trump meme coin. I thought that was a bad thing. No politician, no president, Democrat, Republican, Independent should have anything like that. Even like Mayor Eric Adams, he's not the mayor anymore, but he launched a coin. Like, come on, man.
That was terrible, bro. That was terrible.
Optics, right? Horrible optics. And it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So this is where I thought Donald Trump started off really awesome. And I still think he's very positive for crypto. But dude, hold off on all these coins and all these things. It's hurting. It's causing more friction, right? And we need Democrats to pass these bills. So this is where I'm frustrated. Like, man, I wish Trump would have held off. Like, wait till the market structure get passed, then do whatever you want, man. Because then the legislation will be in that we don't have to face the fire, so to speak, in the Senate and the Congress. Because you got Elizabeth Warren chomping at the bit, looking for anything that she can use to go after him. So that's where I'm frustrated, and I wish he didn't do that. But again, overall net positive. I would rather be here than under Gensler, where it was all on attack, right? Lawsuits.
That's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like that was brutal. I'll say that you made me laugh just now on the last question because I had Charles on, obviously the founder of a co-founder of Ethereum, founder of Cardano, and now Midnight, and he said the same thing. Why didn't he fucking just wait until all this regulation would be passed and then come out with the goddamn meme and do it, and get in contact with the major players within this space to go ahead and make it even grander than what it is today. So it was just like one of those, like, you sit back. Listen, I voted for Trump, but you sit back and just, like I say this all the time, Tony. I like 90% of the things that Trump does. 10%, I'm allowed to go ahead and disagree with it. And this is one of those things where, yeah, because now the Democrats are using this to stall out a bill and incorporate things. And by the way, Cory Booker, which came out of left field, when Cory Booker is trying to be the voice of reason for retail, everything's messed up. Like everything is absolutely messed up. And this bill is not getting passed. I don't believe this bill gets passed. Like my personal take is I don't believe it gets passed. I think they stole it out. I think we'll have to wait for midterms and all this other stuff to happen. But again, you know what? Like I said earlier, I think it's for the better with the way it's written right now. Like, no bill is better than this bill. It's kind of what everybody's been saying.
Oh yeah, I don't think we got to be careful here because those banks, David, they want to take full control and they want to manipulate it. Like I'm sure you've heard about J.P. Morgan and manipulating the silver market, and now that you have ETFs, it's going to be easy for them to do that. Paper Bitcoin, paper whatever altcoin you got out there. So the same structure is being set up, futures, spot, and all these things, and they can manipulate the hell out of it, especially if they're going to start offering it and saying, hey, David, Bill, Joe, come buy it from us, right?
Yeah.
JP Morgan, I'm Bank of America, I'm Citi, come buy it through me and I'll custody it for you. Yeah. And you're putting it into the fractional reserve system there, right? I don't know if they're going to do that, but the possibility is there. There's nothing going to stop them. And if they get that power, they already have tons of money and resources. They just have to keep lobbying to keep things status quo. So we got to fight. We can't let that happen.
Tony, I love you. Where do we go wrong where everybody's celebrating that we are uniting with the banks? I read the white paper. It was nothing about uniting with banks. I get it. It's a decentralized ecosystem. Anybody can participate. But what happened to the cypherpunk era? Maybe we'll bring you back, next time we can go ahead and chop it up. But guys, and we have a lot of people that have tuned in. Guys, if you are just seeing Tony now, go check out Thinking Crypto. He brings on phenomenal guests. I love your interviews. He brings on people from the SEC, Crypto Mom, all these people that, it's interesting interviews and very dialed in. I appreciate you making the time to come on.
Thank you, David. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the discussion and would love to come back.
Awesome. That's Tony, everybody. Tony, check him out. Check Tony out. Thinking Crypto. I love his show. I really do. See, like a lot of people won't acknowledge other people's stuff. I watch his stuff every single time he comes out with something. I watch it. I think it's interesting. He puts it together. He does an amazing job. Number one, you know how hard it is to get a guest on? You know how hard it is to get anybody onto your show? He gets all types of people on and he just has a conversation. I have conversations. He has interviews. Everybody has their own style, but I appreciate it. I remember going on to Tony's show when I was running for office. That's how long it's been. When I was running for office, I went on to Tony's show. By the way, questions being asked, you can find Tony's show on YouTube. So go to Thinking Crypto, type Thinking Crypto on YouTube, and you can find the show. He's also on X. I don't know the other platforms. I just know that he is on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can find his channel on YouTube. And it's really good stuff. Like you can tune in. There's a lot of, I think he's had Brad Garlinghouse on too. I believe so. All you XRP fans out here, he's had Brad Garlinghouse on. I remember he was doing a lot of stuff at XRP. Shout out to Tony anyway. It's okay. It's okay to go ahead and give flowers to your fellow media personalities. We're all in the same industry. We're okay. We can go ahead and give up. We all do different things. We have a different style. It's okay. I don't know why everybody's so like this. Listen, a lot of people are scared of competition. It's healthy competition. I don't even see it as competition, especially that we are the new mouthpiece of finance. Whether you like it or not, we are the new mouthpiece of finance. That's right. We're the new mouthpiece of finance. We'll be right back after this commercial break for midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
And once again, I come on to the show after a commercial break and I'm muted and I'm giving one of the greatest speeches of all time. Welcome back to the show. I gotta love my editors for stepping up their game. They continue to create wonderful graphics. They're elevating the fucking product. The DG brand is being elevated every single day. These sons of bitches in the back are working tirelessly. Okay? Working tirelessly to make sure that this show continues to go to new levels. By the way, so let me go ahead and break this down. Website has been updated and it will continue to be updated. You can go to davidgokhshtein.com. Go to davidgokhshtein.com, davidgokhshtein.com. You don't know how to spell it, just look at my user fucking name here and it's the same thing, davidgokhshtein.com. Go on there. You want to contact, a lot of people are contacting for partnerships. You want to contact for a partnership, go on there, fill out the form, and we'll see if you're a right fit. Also, the one-on-one mentorship program is out. You can go ahead and go to the website, davidgokhshtein.com, and look that over as well. So there you go. A lot of people have been asking for that for a very long time. I'm talking about 10 years for the mentorship program. Go for it. Go for it. davidgokhshtein.com. davidgokhshtein.com. By the way, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can go ahead and check out Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus goes live, part of the GNN network. Me, Hotep Jesus. You got Landy on every... I don't know how Landy's on every fucking show. Landy has made himself available on every show. This man got like 19 phones, and he's on every space show. Like, but how is Landy getting invited? Hold on. How is Landy getting invited to Hotep Jesus's show? Hotep, you invite Landy and you don't invite me? What the fuck? Yo, Hotep Alchemist, what is happening? Landy gets invited. I don't get no invite. And people think that I got yes people working for me. You imagine this? People actually think I have yes people surrounding me. I'm blown away. And think, yo, Hotep Alchemist, think about this. I have subbed to his kick multiple times. I've gifted him all this shit. You would think he'd bring on the head Jew. You would think he would bring on the head Jew, the Hebrew hammerer. Okay, you'd think that would happen. How is he not bringing on the head Jew? And how are people not listening to a Jew in the first place? All the Jews make all the money in the world. Then why aren't you fucking listening? All the Jews make the money. Why aren't you listening to me? But I just want to say, by the way, my Jew card was taken away. And I think the ADL is going to make a page about me. I will be the first Jew on the ADL website that will be considered alt-right. Can you imagine? Hotep Jesus doesn't even consider me as somebody you can bring on to your show? Is it the American flag, Hotep? Is it because I have the American flag in the studio? Is it because I'm Jewish, Hotep? What's the reason behind it? What's the reason? Hotep Alchemist got my back. By the way, was that real beef? By the way, was that real beef? Where Hotep Jesus was beefing with Uncle? Well, Uncle Hotep, was that real beef? Was that real beef? I would play it on this show, but TikTok will ban me. But there's a clip that Hotep Jesus put out yesterday going after Uncle Hotep. Maybe I'll bring on Uncle Hotep. How about that? You want to bring on Landy? I'll bring on Uncle Hotep. I'm sure he'll come on the show. Hotep Alchemist, let's just start beef for no reason. Let's just start beef for no reason. I feel like I'm in I don't know, the Dark Knight when the Joker breaks the fucking pool stick and says, "Go ahead, guys. Whoever wins gets to join the team." Welcome to the breakdown, episode 661, sponsored by Midnight. The good folks at Midnight, they're traveling. They're talking about Midnight, the Midnight Network, because privacy matters. You know, you want to talk about privacy. You want to talk about Zcash. You want to talk about Monero. You're going to talk about Midnight, 100%, and it's going to happen. As a member of the Hotep Nation, I cannot. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I got assassins watching. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. That is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We will be joined by Alexander at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll talk a little bit. We'll go into politics. You know me. Like, this is a political show as well. It's not just crypto. Political. By the way, as we were talking to Tony, which was hilarious, as Tony from Thinking Crypto was on this show, TikTok, some liberal, some purple hair freak decided to report me. And I had to go, if you saw me, I looked down for a second, I had to go ahead and appeal. And we won. Purple hair freak reported me. Goddamn nose thing. What is that? What is that shit that they... Why would you pierce your nose like that? Like, what is that shit called? Somebody help me. What is that shit called, like, that makes you look like you're a goddamn bull? What's that piercing called? What is that piercing called? Help me out here. Septum piercing? Why the fuck would you want to... Why would you want to do such a thing? You look like an asshole. Respectfully. I mean, the only person that could get away with that is Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz is really the only person that can get away with that kind of shit. Shout out to Lenny Kravitz, man. I wanna fly away, yeah, yeah, yeah. all these crackheads on crypto. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to get away. I want to get away from all these crackheads on crypto Twitter. All these crackheads away. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown. I'm a great singer. No, seriously, why would you peer? Like, also, I have. Okay. I know this is not crypto or political, but why would you tattoo your face? And respectfully, there are a lot of artists out there that, you know, I fuck with. I listen to them. Like Jelly Roll, he's cool. Okay? Jelly Roll, he's cool. He's cool people, right? He deserved to win. You know what? I appreciate Jelly Roll. Let's play his... Unlike the protest that was going on at the Grammys, because that was just a fucking protest. Hold on one second. Hold on. What did Johnny say? Sorry, I have been away, David. Keep my distance until I can be sure you were not in the Epstein. I was not in the Epstein files. Trust me. I was not in the Epstein files. So, oh, by the way, I want to touch on the Epstein files, and I want to touch on Trump and Elon and give you a reason why I know like they didn't do nothing, but we'll get to that. Let's go ahead and play Jelly Roll's acceptance speech. This is the way you should accept an award, because you're at the Grammys, you're getting awarded a fucking award for the shit that you do. Fucking Johnny, bro. Johnny's back. He's ruthless. Shout out to Johnny. I know a lot of you guys on TikTok don't see Johnny talking. A lot of you X don't see the people talking on TikTok, but it's... Anyway, let me go ahead and find Jelly Roll's acceptance speech, because I thought it was really good. I really thought it was really good. Hold on. This is the way you should accept a speech. And I felt, you know, you can feel his pain. You know he's authentic, man. You know this man is fucking authentic, man. Let's go ahead and play it. Hold on one second. Let me Man, Alex Jones keeps beating my ass. He's first, I'm second, man. This guy keeps beating my ass. Alex Jones, man, keeps beating my ass. All right, let's share this real quick. Let's go ahead and listen to what you should have been doing when you got your award, okay? Billie Eilish, this is what you should have been doing when you got your award. Let's play this.
I know they're going to try to kick me off here, so just let me try to get this out. First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you and Jesus. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic John Manili, we did it, baby. There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus
That, ladies and gentlemen, is an acceptance speech. That right there is what these people that were winning these awards, like Billie Eilish, that's the way they should have accepted their awards. Meanwhile, they use platforms to talk about things they don't know fuck about. Look at Billie Eilish. She just kicked herself in the ass. Stolen land. Meanwhile, her $14 million mansion is on Indian property. Is she giving back that land? I'm asking for a friend. Is she giving back that land? That right there, ladies and gentlemen, was a great speech. A great acceptance speech. Good for him. Good for him that he was able to change his life. And you can see it's real. It's not acting. This man, number one, was extremely overweight, dedicated himself to losing that weight. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's a success story. That is a success story. And shout out to his spouse, who is there with him every step of the way. Because I know about his story. She was there with him every step of the way. Every step of the way, she was there with him. Good times, bad times. That's what you need to be looking for. By the way, a backbone, and that's what he has. You know, I like him and I like Post Malone. I like both those individuals. You can tell they were raised right. You can tell they appreciate their platform. I like people like Post Malone, like Jelly Roll. I like them winning awards and being acknowledged because they seem to be good human beings. They want to entertain people. So shout out to Jelly Roll. Shout out to me with the breakdown, episode 661. We're 10 minutes away from bringing Alexander on. We'll talk a little politics here. I'm not even looking at the market. I don't even know what's happening with the market. Somebody told me Solana is at $91. If Solana hits $80, I'm going in again. If Solana hits $80, I'm going in again. I will go in again. I just have a feeling about Solana. I feel like Solana, you see, Ethereum fucked up. Ethereum fucked up with the L2 bullshit. That's what Ethereum did. Ethereum gave way to all these L2s. And now you have 50,000 L2s out here that do nothing. They don't do anything. All they're doing is they're taking liquidity away from Ethereum because Ethereum would have been at $10,000 already. Ethereum would have been at $10,000 without these L2s. So yeah, now Vitalik comes out yesterday talking about that they're going to change the game. They're going to change the roadmaps and they're going to change the way they operate. Great. You should have done that a long time ago, and you shouldn't have done what you did. And honestly, I think you should have stayed as a POW. Proof of work and not gone to a proof of stake fucking concept. But you panicked. The only reason why Ethereum went, this is my personal belief, Ethereum changed from a POW to a POS is because of the way the government was acting at that current time under the Biden administration. Otherwise, if Trump was in office, I don't believe they would have changed the POS. They would have stayed a POW. 100% would have been a POW. And crypto heads appreciate proof of work over proof of stake. Some people don't give a shit, but like people that have been here since day one, they appreciate POW over POS. Respectfully. I think Ethereum fucked up. They fucked up. They panicked. They switched because of the landscape. That's what I think, and I honestly believe happened. And if you were to give them the same option right now with the administration that is currently in office, they would have never done it. They would have never switched. And I'd maybe love to bring on, maybe I'll bring somebody on to get technical and ask a question. Would it be worth it to go back to POW? Would it be worth it to go back to proof of work for Ethereum? And can it be done? Or would that just completely tank Ethereum? I see a comment in the chat saying ETFs completely tanked the crypto market. I'm going to say this again to you. People that are getting into ETFs are multi-millionaires and the boomers that are used to trading by calling somebody at Merrill Lynch or at BlackRock, Fidelity, whatever, Vanguard. Retail has not come back. They got no money. You're not listening to me. They got no money. They will have money. They will have money. Tax returns, tariff checks. That's when you'll see retail come back. That's when you'll see retail come back. 100%. Until then, stop blaming things like ETFs. I'm telling you right now, ETFs, the people that are buying ETFs would never go to Coinbase to buy crypto. I'm going to say this again. The people that are buying into ETFs would never, most of them would never go onto crypto.com or Coinbase. They would never go on there to purchase Bitcoin. Never. Never. Welcome to the breakdown. One of the top crypto and political shows on your social media networks. That's right. That's right. At 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be joined by Alexander. We're going to talk about some things happening, not just in our region. Get to sit back and speak to somebody that has knowledge about a situation. That's how I like bringing on people that have actual knowledge about situations and not pretend to have it. And not Google this shit or go on ChatGPT and ask about it. I've actually experienced these things and lived through them. Or have family members that have lived through them. We'll be right back, though, right after this commercial break from midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Hey, David, how's it going? I cannot, unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you. I think your voice was gone. So for me, at least, I was able to hear the claps.
Oh my God. I was
You're
muted. I'm
completely
sorry.
fine.
Do you hear me now?
No. Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
can
this
hear
is
you
a
fine.
this is
Thank you
a
very much.
consistent problem on my end because I mute myself when the commercials go on. But I do apologize, Alexander. It is a pleasure that you've come on to the show.
Thank you very much for your invite, and I appreciate your followers and basically listeners that giving me this opportunity to be here. Highly appreciate it.
I want to, and I want to give Warren a shout out because, there's a lot of people. Warren is out there. He's participating in all these rooms. Thankfully, we have social media. Thankfully, we have X from a standpoint where we can get, real information. And
Absolutely.
and I want to talk about Iran. And I'd like for you to, for my audience, who we have a lot of people in crypto and we have a lot of people that are interested and follow me from the political world. Can you break down what's currently happening in Iran right now as we speak?
Of course, what is happening is obviously it was started like as a genocide, like in beginning of January, people uprising in the street, and after the obviously for many reasons, not just because of literally what you hear like in news because of shortage of water or just shortage of electricity and such, and shortage of foods, which is going to be a big deal. But also the freedom of speech, like what we appreciate, like in the United States of America, which what I adore and I appreciate it, like since I lived here. And I believe like every single Iranian is that pursuing the same thing, to be their voice to be heard and also be freed from the mullah regimes, which they are terrorists, 100%, no doubt. We've seen October 7th, what happened, and we've seen 9/11, and they try to wash their hands quite a bit. Like God knows why, and I can assume why. Like many benefits that basically some of the governments at that time pursued it, like pursued like to talk with Islamic Republic. Obama was just one of the biggest failure of our time. After Carter actually came on to work, and we've seen 1979 what happened, the collapse of the best relationship ever in Middle East era with our Shah, and then after that everything started like to collapse, and like we start seeing like war after war and the support of terrorism. What's happening right now in Iran is basically one of the greatest things ever happened since 2010. Obviously, if people remember, people marched down in the street, millions, to voice their opinions that they're looking after their vote, what happened to their vote. Obviously, we have had experience such as stuff in other countries, but it was a big deal. And then after that, one after another, like basically gas prices went up. People start seeking basically clues in gas prices and just marched out because of it, and because of like marching for freedom. Until now, people looking for their freedom. They want the free country. They want to be connected with Americans, Israelis. There's no fight. There's no wars. They're not seeking wars. But obviously, like we came to the last stage, which every Iranian all around the world, like they're seeking President Trump to strike Islamic Republic. Again, there's a huge differences between Islamic Republic and people of Iran. They're terrorists. They're providers of the terrorists. My people, there are actually people who were just people of peace. And I think they've proven during times.
Do you think this uprising that is happening in Iran right now will actually topple the current administration that is there right now? Or I should not even say administration, let me say dictatorship that's there right now.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting that. Highly appreciate it, because that's what we usually, when we speak like to most of our friends, like in media, we would like to address them. Please make sure, make a huge difference, like Marco Rubio mentioned it very greatly, that there is a huge differences between people of Iran and Islamic Republic. So yes, I would say 110,000%. So obviously, what we seek exactly is like to United States of America, by leadership of President Trump, which he done a fantastic job, in my opinion, and many also patriot Americans. We want him to hit actually the places that is currently run by the terrorists, IRGC terrorists, and basically after that we can finish the job 100%. There's no doubt. The numbers that we're hearing, like from the people getting killed, like started from 16,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Well, first of all, I like to address this first, that they're not just numbers. They're people with lives, dreams, and like us. My life could have been different, absolutely, if I lived there. But I've been lucky enough and to live in the United States of America, land of free, and able to actually have free speech such as that. And what I'm trying to address is 100% Iranian people, one way or another, with the help of President Trump, which hopefully arrives, or without it, like even Bibi Netanyahu, which in many speeches they mentioned, march to the street, we have your back. What I believe is it'll happen with their help or without their help. With their help is going to be like, less killing of peaceful people. And without their help is going to be obviously more.
Why is mainstream Alexander? Why is mainstream media lying about what's happening? Most mainstream media outlets are lying or not really addressing what is happening in Iran, like the real story. Why?
Oh, that's the best question you could ever ask. I will tell you. So I think the mainstream media don't want to give a due credit to President Trump. No doubt about it. So when he started actually doing stuff like back in the day when he basically strike Qasem Soleimani, he was a main terrorist. And if you look at the history and what happened, he was just the cause and reason of actually killing many American lives. He took many American lives. I hope like your listener do their best and research about these people and what they've done, because that helps them quite a bit to understand who's really seeking the truth and who's really after helping people. And I believe they don't want to give the credit to President Trump. Ironically, I would say Obama back in the day, our people were marching to the street and they were saying like, Obama, Obama, either you're with us or you're with them, which he decided actually to be with them. I'm talking about basically Islamic Republic terrorists. And since then, where is Obama? Quiet. Didn't even like mention a thing. He came out, talk about like Minnesota. We marched actually, and we went there like to his comment, and we asked him, "Where have you been?" And I think these medias don't want to give a credit to President Trump for the Midnight Hammer. Obviously, that was such a beautiful strike, and I appreciate him. And also Bibi Netanyahu. Consider this: if we wanted, like as Iranians who are like compatriots, we wanted to go after IRGC terrorists, and we wanted to go after those people, it would have taken us like years and years to get to this place. Like making this process shorter. Obviously there is going to be, killings. Obviously there is going to be, people, innocent lives going to danger. But like, you want to tell me like hundreds of thousands of people got killed, and if military of United States wants to actually make a strike to Islamic Republic terrorists, it will be more. It will be very surprising to me, because I've read history. I've studied wars, absolutely American wars, and also IDF very well and what they've done. Whether it was right or wrong doesn't matter to me at this point. What matters the most is IDF protected their people. They promised us, and they've done it in a 12 days war perfectly. So we were seeking exactly that.
How disappointed were you and fellow Iranians watching, let's say, give or take, the Grammys, where all they were doing was condemning ICE and obviously the current administration, but not saying a word about the massacres that are happening in Iran?
It was. See, here's the thing. So let's just start like from a very famous, basically pop star. I forgot his name. I hated him so much that I forgot his name. But he came out to one of the TV shows and he mentioned that Iranian people don't want to change the regime. They just want, this and that. And like when the internet actually got connected, when I posted about that, they were in shock and tears. Why they listened to him like for so many years. I forgot his name. I don't have his name on top of my head. But I'm sure like your followers may actually name his name actually in a comment. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is Grammy was such a disaster. One, first and foremost, you are putting your foot on a threshold and a choke point of your officers. I want to like, pay attention to this really clearly, who are trying to protect like American lives. You're hating your president and your people just because they're doing the right thing. Let me explain this and expand it a tiny bit. If you were in any country besides United States of America, you wanted to pass their borders, I would tell you were being dead and coffin. Period. You want to try this in somewhere else and you want to like play that game, there is like many examples. Turkey to begin with, one of the number one allies in NATO. It would be like Italy, another one. Switzerland, another one. That's free, and it's not negotiable. I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea. Qatari's influence, Qatari's influence in like a lot of public universities, and basically the agendas that they have. People have to understand these people are following Muslim Brotherhood's ideas and slowly but surely bringing it to United States of America and washing people's like brain that basically everything is going to be fine, this and that. I'm not anti-Islamist person at all whatsoever. I'm not anti any religious whatsoever. As long as it's not forced upon me, it's not forced to believe everything that they say. They're free to do what they wanted to do. If they want to pray, do it at home. And this is going to be the same exact idea in Iran, because Iran, everybody's scared in the Middle East. Iran is not going to be an Islamic country anymore. Does it have Muslim? 100%. But is it going to be Islamic? 100% no. And obviously, Turkey, Pakistan, Qatar, they're going to be scared to shut out of that. I'm sorry for my French.
No, it's
Because
okay.
one, they have, yeah, and they're also sharing a lot of oils with Islamic Republic, and they're basically taking our oils at the same time. So obviously, they're going to take the side with Qataris. So these are may not be basically interesting to so many people, but they're money. You find everything, my friend.
I feel like I've watched mainstream media. I've seen what's going on. Besides mainstream media, you go and you look at social media, the things that are being pushed out there as if to say that there is nothing happening in Iran, that and it's being paid for. Like that it's a paid campaign to go ahead and just silence people and to keep the current regime in place. It's sad, but at the same time, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful from the videos that I've been able to see. And big up to obviously Elon Musk for Starlink and getting connections out there so we can see videos, right? Because it's easy to go in an AI state now where everybody goes to AI and creates videos. You see actual videos coming out of Iran where people are continuing, and it seems like, I don't know, maybe you'll tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it seems like it is growing. It's not stopping. People are just, that's it. This is our only chance to go ahead and get rid of this regime, this dictatorship that has absolutely destroyed and made the Iranians absolutely fucking suffer. This is it. This is the moment where, and I pray for it, that the Iranians win. The people of Iran win. And they win and they get back their freedom, because your country was beautiful. You go back decades, it was a beautiful country that unfortunately right now is just absolutely headlocked by a absolutely rootless regime.
So I would add this actually to what you said. I actually mentioned it beautifully. Our doors on behalf of all Iranian people. I'm a very small soldier, but like our doors will be open to every single country. Our doors is going to be open again to every single country who backed us in the very tough times. And we do remember what happened, who was behind us, who done what. And we write names, like President Trump actually mentioned about the dictatorships. We also write names from the politicians who who didn't actually take any action or decision, like Obama and basically Biden's administration. None of them, not even one of them, actually said a thing about what's happening in Iran. And taking a side, it's like a high school fight. I believe like they want to bring a high school fight in this administration and try to basically joke around with it. I would tell like every single American people who are listening to me, love your country to the fullest. Never give up, and never forget what it takes to have freedom. Freedom is not free and it's not given, my friend. And keep doing what you're doing and keep moving forward and be proud of your American. I am an Iranian American, very proud Iranian American, and I forever going to be. And I'm never going to lose my allyship with United States of America. And I mentioned it like in many interviews before, that even like United States goes to war, I will go with them. Doesn't matter. Patriot means somebody who believe in what is happening everywhere. Like I'm coming from, I have two countries right now in my heart, America and Iran. And they're going to be alive, and there is going to be a future, a beautiful future for many Americans to visit Iran again, and our doors is going to be open for all of them. And you have to be hopeful, and at the same time, you have to be in the correct side of the history.
I appreciate you coming on today. I pray for the people of Iran, the good people of Iran, this uprising. I hope they win. I really do hope for a victory. I really do. I know it's not, you know, in the United States of America, there's, you know, there are people that are saying stay out of it. There are people that are saying help them out. I'm on the fence of let's help them out. Let's help
I would
them
add
out.
something real quick in parentheses for my fellow Americans. I know the soldiers are our sisters and brothers, and I totally understand what it takes to have a family like as a soldier and do that. I lost 3 people in this uprising. One of the closest was my cousin, and I would tell you, I understand you. Fully believe what you're saying. You don't want war, and I fully understand it. And I hope when President Trump taking action, make sure 120,000% none of the lives, whether like it's Iranian civilians or like American troops, be heard. And that's what I'm praying for. And I hope for free Iran and like basically the connection that has been lost since 1979, but it's been in our heart since that day.
You know, if there's one president, and I don't care what anybody says, there's one president in our lifetime that's actually done things that he's promised he would do and delivered. It's Trump, and I hope that listen. I hope you guys free yourselves, but if you know if help is necessary, if we have tools that we can go ahead and you know we can deploy to go ahead and end that brutal regime, I'm all for it. And I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you telling the real story and not the manufactured stories that keep on coming out from mainstream media. Hopefully I can bring you back onto the show in a month or two, or maybe earlier than that, when we can go ahead and all celebrate, you know, Iran's freedom.
It'll be sooner than a month or two, I'm sure. And I'll be
Let's do
glad
that.
to join your show. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your audiences.
Thank you so much
Have
for
a blessed
making the
day.
time. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Javicha. Thank you.
That was Alexander, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a major shout out. I want to give a major shout out to Warren for making that happen. On X, you know, the good thing about X, the wonderful thing about X and Elon is that you're able to hear the real story from real people from these regions. It's the same argument that I had about Venezuela, where you had people who have never lived there, white people that have never lived there, respectfully, white liberals that have never lived there, out in New York City protesting. Protesting because they believe that Maduro was a great person. You're telling me these people aren't getting paid? You're telling me all these protesters that are out there aren't getting paid? Let's talk about this. Oh, and by the way, let me just finish on Iran. Let me just say this about Iran. I don't want no wars. I don't want America to be dragged into new wars. We want to get away from that, right? But if there's a way that we can bring the USS Lincoln into play and do what we did when we extracted Maduro, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. Obviously, I like to see the people do it themselves. And I think they're close. This is close. And if it does happen, we'll bring on Alexander. We'll bring on a lot of Iranians so we can celebrate. We have the most lethal military in the world. The United States of America has the most lethal military in the world. There is, whoever comes in second is not even close. I really do pray for the people of Iran. There are a lot of really good people in Iran. They have absolutely been living under such horrific conditions. Same thing with the people of Venezuela, where they had to fucking escape. 9 million people, maybe even more, escaped, ran away. Here we have people just protesting freedom. Again, I don't believe in wars. I hate war. I don't think it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but there are situations where I think that the United States does need to participate, where it does make sense. Why the fuck do we ever give that amount of money to this horrific regime? We dropped them, what was it, how much? 18, how much? I gotta look this up, I forgot, man. It's been so long, I forgot how much we went ahead and gave them. Billions of dollars. Under Biden, the Biden administration and Obama, we just let people make fucking nukes. We did nothing with North Korea. We did nothing with Iran. It's such, what the fuck is this? How are you voting for this shit? They're wishing death to America. You have people wishing death to America, and we're dropping them money. Help me out here. You got people chanting death to America, and we're dropping them boatloads of money. I don't even understand. I don't understand this. Educate me then. A lot of motherfuckers like to disagree with me, but educate me on how it makes sense to drop money to people that hate America. And it's our money. It's the taxpayers' money that's being dropped. Of course, people lost respect for the United States of America and this flag behind me. Of course, they lost respect when you have Obama and Biden. Now people don't understand what's happening. Our current society in America doesn't understand what's happening because they're not used to a real leader leading. And you can say what the fuck you want about Trump, okay? You can go out there and talk all this shit about Trump all you want, okay? You've been brainwashed to do so. You've never met the man. How can you hate him? It's funny, all this propaganda that's pushed out. Oh, Trump's taken away women's rights. Which rights has he taken away? He's been he was the 45th president. Now he's the 47th. What rights have been taken away so far for women? None. This is the bullshit that they've been pushing. Rights he's taken away. Then you got the dictator. He's a dictator. I don't know a dictator that would have let you go out into the streets and protest. They would arrest you in any country. Go to Russia. Go protest in Russia. I want to see how well you do. I will pay for a trip to one of you son of a bitches to go out to Russia and go ahead and protest. I'll pay for a trip for you to go and protest in China. or North Korea. I want to see how far you go with that. Yet, Trump's a dictator. Trump's a dictator. But yet you're protesting. Unreal. Unreal. Trump's the dictator. This is how much hatred and brainwashing has been done. Trump's a dictator. No, the better solution was sleepy Joe Biden. That was the better solution. Minnesota is a great example. ICE is everywhere. You're not seeing anything. You're not seeing much about things happening in other states. Minnesota, ding, ding, ding. Fraud. How do we go ahead and divert the attention? Get those protesters out there. Pay them. We were told, listen, you already know where I stand. Loss of life, it is absolutely devastating. Loss of life is absolutely devastating. But the media try to turn Renee Good into this wonderful person that was just accidentally at a place, wrong time kind of thing. Stop. And then slowly it was exposed ICE Watch. And ICE Watch is all about how do we get out of the way of ICE. Listen, can ICE do a better job? Yeah. Should they have body cams? Yeah. We can go back and forth. I'm a rational person. The masks to me are them trying to protect themselves from crazy ass people that could take a picture of them and then go ahead and completely dox them. That's the way I see the masks. Nobody complained when Obama was doing ICE, though. 3 million people deported under Obama. Less than that, a quarter, not even a quarter of that under Trump. And here we are, we're talking about ICE. But we're not talking about the fraud. We're not talking about the learning center, which wasn't even spelled correctly. We're not talking about all that shit that came out of taxpayers' profits. Or excuse me, taxpayers' pockets. It's crazy. And then we're all told, Alex, who wasn't working as a nurse because he I don't know, he took some time off for a few months. His parents were concerned. His own family members are out there telling you they were concerned about him. They were warning him not to go out there. And here he is, a guy whom, listen, it's sad again. Another sad situation. Goes out there. You know who needs to be fucking arrested? These organizations. It's not so much the Renee Goods, God rest her soul. It's not so much Alex the nurse, God rest his soul. It's the organizations that put them up to this. It's the brainwashing. That's who needs to be fucking arrested. That's who needs to be fucking arrested. Anyway. It's sad. It is sad. Because it's this fucking mentality. Orange man bad. That's it. Orange man. Like I said, I agree with 90 to 95% of the things Trump does. I don't agree with 5%. I don't agree with the 5%. Everybody can do a better job. Nobody can be perfect. But holy shit. Holy shit. Anyway, we'll be right back with the quote of the day. We are 16 minutes over. It is 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You've tuned into the breakdown. We'll be back again, once again, after this commercial break with the quote of the day.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Welcome back. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna make sure to fucking put a sticky pad up saying unmute after commercial breaks. Welcome back to the breakdown episode 661, sponsored by Midnight. What I wanted to say before we end the show is I don't read comments in terms when I post and everything like that. I do sometimes read the comments that are in the chats, right? I'll read the comments on TikTok. I'll read the comments that I have here on X and Xkick and YouTube. When people say, and I'm not pointing the finger at anybody because this happens with other individuals, but when people say, well, you have a horrible take. No, what you really mean is that you don't agree with me. And I think that's the language. We need to go back to when we used to say to people, I don't agree with your take. Here's why. And you can write it on, like you can write the essay, you can reply to a tweet, you can chat it up in the chats when I'm doing the live show. But it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I have a different viewpoint. You have a different viewpoint. We don't agree. We agree to disagree. I have my sources. I have people that I talk to that are out there in Minnesota that are seeing things from their perspective. You might have people that are seeing things from their perspective, from your perspective. It's different. Again, we agree to disagree. That's right. I don't know where it got lost, where we got to fight. No. And I'm not even going to fight. I'm going to stick to what I feel is right, what I believe, what I've seen, the videos I've seen. I'm going to go based on that. By the way, just want to say this. Trump has now come out, and this is where I'm starting to respect Trump a little bit more. I don't know what's changing. I wanted to acknowledge the fact that when he was asked yesterday about Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, where people could have expected him to go ahead and bash them. It was a question. I forgot the question. But he, in turn, I think caught everybody off guard where he said it's a real shame. It's really disappointing. Bill's a good person. Hillary, you already know, but she's a good debater. He went into he started talking, he spoke differently. Where I was expecting something total. Look, I expected something totally different. I thought he would have said, I'm gonna throw her in jail, whatever. I thought he would have been a little bit more comical. He wasn't. He was really like, hey, I really like these people. I think, Hillary is a great debater. She was the best debater out there. She's the best competition I ever faced. Kind of thing. Like, okay. And then today he comes out and he says, after, watching everything that's happened in Minnesota, let me give you the exact quote without paraphrasing here. Hold on. Let me give you the exact quote. Trump said, hold on, where is it? Let me go to, give me 1 second. Because I thought it was cool of him to say this. Trump said, 7 minutes ago, Trump said, what happened in Minnesota taught him softer touch could be needed on immigration. I like this. I like this president. There's a reason why I voted for him. There's a reason why I voted for him. I don't know what's happening with Trump. I spoke to Owen. You guys know Owen. Owen used to be a host. He has his own show now, but he used to be a host on InfoWars. I spoke to Owen when Owen came on here and we sat here, and Owen mentioned something about, sometimes people change when, they go through assassination attempts. And maybe the assassination attempt in Butler changed Trump. Because here he is, he's saying like, maybe I should soften it up. Maybe we need to soften it up on immigration in terms of the way they enforce it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now, people will say that he's backing down. I don't think he's backing down. He's just saying, okay, we'll go about it with a different approach, but we're still going to get all the criminals out of this country, which I voted for. I voted so we can see all these illegals get the hell out of a country. What? Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask liberals this question. How come my parents had to wait in line to get into this country? They had to wait in line, go through an entire process in order to come into this country and get a green card. Just like a lot of other people that waited in line to get a green card and then become American citizens, waiting also to become American citizens. Why did they have to wait? But you have these criminals but fucking get into this country, and you have people out here trying to protect them. So what's the point? What do you want to flood this country with illegals that take resources away from the United States of America, from taxpayers? We got to foot the bill. When they have to go to the hospital, we got to pay for that. Hospitals have to lose money. No, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't give a fuck what your party affiliation is at this point. This is absolutely craziness. No other country allows this shit. Try this in Poland. Try this in Russia. You're not going to get away with it. You won't. You won't get away with it in China. You won't get away with it in North Korea. You won't get away with this anywhere except in the United States of America, where you have a bunch of people that are paid to go out there to protest this shit. I don't want them here. You want to come to this country? Then come here legally. Wait like everybody else did. Wait like every single person that wanted a better life and wanted to live the American dream. Let them wait in line, or you can go ahead and buy the Trump card, okay? This is such a bullshit conversation. I've already had it with this fucking conversation. Y'all don't make sense. ICE is too harsh. You know what's too harsh? The taxes that we pay. That's what's too harsh. That we got to go ahead and pay taxes for people that are undocumented, and that people don't want to pass the SAFE Act for voter ID so we can have, what, illegal fucking immigrants, undocumented individuals voting in our elections? What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Some random ass person can go ahead and, some drug dealer from fucking, I don't know, from some other fucking country that was dropped off here, they could go ahead and vote for the next president of the United States of America? What are we fucking discussing here? And you're gonna tell me that I'm fucking wrong? Then you fucking house them. It seems like every single time that question is posed to somebody, well, you know what? You're all for illegal, undocumented immigrants coming into this country? No problem. Do you have a place in your house where you can take some in? Because we have plenty. And oh no, I gotta talk to my husband. I have to talk to my wife. Oh, I don't want to do that. Then shut the fuck up. If you're not willing to take them into your household, shut the fuck up. And that's not anger. That's passion. That's because I love the United States of America. I love this country. But I know what my parents went through waiting in line. And I know a bunch of other people. And I have friends, and they're also first generation. Their parents waited in line to come into this country. It took them years to come here. And you all sit there in the comfort of your own home, fucking waving your finger at people that say they don't want 15 million illegals in this country? Undocumented? Are you fucking, what crack are you smoking? Trying to turn us into a banana republic here. You're lucky I'm not the president of the United States of America, because I wouldn't be so nice like Trump is. I'd be deport everybody. You got something to say? Go ahead and say, go march all you want. But they'll turn it into some racist shit. They'll talk about it's racist. It's bigotry. Like, shut your mouth. There's nothing racist about it. You got people waiting to, the crazy part is, you got people waiting to get into this country as we speak right now, waiting. They are waiting in line. They are going through the process of trying to live the American dream. They're going about it the right way. Yet, So you're saying, fuck the people that are doing it the right way. It's okay that you have people that are committing crimes and crossing this border or crossing into our land illegally. That's what you're saying. Anyway, it is 2:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why I just erupted. I absolutely, you know what? It's finally come out then. I don't know. It's finally come out. I'm fucking tired of this shit. You look at one, like there's no middle ground. There's no fucking common sense anymore. There's zero common sense. I don't want to turn into one of these fucking European countries. Okay? I don't want none of that shit. I might be Jewish, but this is a Christian country. Okay? I don't want to turn into whatever it is that's going on in Europe. Okay? I like the United States to remain, or actually, I like to us to get back to being what we were decades ago. And everybody's too pussy to go ahead and say what they feel. Because society is so fucking soft. You're scared to get canceled. You're scared to lose shit. Who gives a shit? As long as you're speaking the truth, who cares? You are the change. Okay? If you stay silent, this shit continues. You understand? You stay silent, this shit just continues. That's why this woke shit is starting to die. You know why this woke shit is starting to go away? Because people had enough. People had enough of pronouns. People had enough of their children getting taught at the age of 4 or 5 about gender identity, okay? People had enough. It's enough. You fucking slammed it down our fucking throats. And you threaten people with cancellation. Netflix is fucking putting out cartoons about gender to 4 to 5-year-olds. That's not normal. 4 to 5, 6-year-olds, kids need to be able to be kids. They need to be playing with blocks and coloring books and shit, not learning about gender. And people think I'm angry. I'm not. This is passion. It's fucking passion. I feel bad for this society. I literally feel bad. I feel bad. And there's really good people that want to say something, but they're scared to say something because they might lose their jobs. And that's the sad part. They try to, look, it went so far that they try to cancel comedy. The woke virus, this woke shit, went as far as trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. You imagine? The next step was to cancel Dave Chappelle, to cancel comedy. What else? What else after that if you don't stand up? I'm sorry. I am not sorry. I am not sorry. And I don't give a fuck if people decide to unfollow me because they feel so deeply passionate about protecting criminals that have jumped the fence to be in our country that we pay for. Well, is this welcome to the meltdown or is this welcome to the breakdown? Which one is it? Which one is it? Sponsored by Midnight. I've said this throughout my career on, doing this, reporting the news, talking to guests. I've said the following: I don't care what you do in your personal life. I really don't. Respectfully, and I don't mean. I mean that respectfully. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care who you decide to date and love. I don't care about that. That's your personal business. It's none of my business. It's your personal business. Who you decide to love, who you decide to be with. If it's the same sex, that's all on you. It's up to you. That has nothing to do with me. To me, it's like, if after 18 you decide to transition, then fine. At least you're an adult and you can make an adult decision. Then do what you need to do. Whatever you decide to do with your life after 18, this is how I feel. After 18, whatever you decide to do, God bless you. Don't force it on to me. That's all I say. Don't force it on me. Whatever you decide to do with your life, don't push it on me. I don't push my straightness onto anybody. Okay? I don't push my I'm going to say this again. I don't push my straightness onto anybody. Don't push your shit onto me. That's it. And you know what? I don't know. I grew up in New York City. I grew up around it's very diversified. We didn't talk about what you do when somebody, like, we hardly had conversations about what you did with somebody in the bedroom or who you date. We didn't really give a fuck. It was like, whatever. Back to, yo, did you see what was happening during that Yankee game? Or did you catch that fucking Ranger game? That's what we were talking about. I wasn't identifying anybody as a fucking penguin. They, them, she, like, no, we weren't doing that. Non-binary, I don't even know what that fucking means. But I'm just saying, like, me personally, again, at the end of the day, we chop it up. In real life, we chop it up. That's it. Because, again, I come from a diverse, very diverse community. Very diverse. We didn't have time. Yeah, anybody who says that they don't see color, yeah, we saw color. We see color. You obviously see color. But, like, we weren't like, oh, well, I can't be his friend because he's black. What are we talking about? I grew up in, right there. I'm from Brooklyn. Are you kidding me? I didn't talk about shit like that. We didn't care. Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Catholic. Care. We weren't trying to convert people. Oh, you got to be, you got to be Christian in order to be a part of my group, or you got to be Jewish. Nah. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Anyway, it is 40 minutes past. I don't know what's happening with crypto. I'll see you after the show. But what I do know is this, that crypto will rebound tremendously. So take your opportunities now. Don't sit on the sidelines. Take your opportunities now to front run everybody else. That's it. That's all you can do. Front run everybody. And if you're in really good assets, you're not panicking. So bottom line, if you've done a hell of a job accumulating shit, then you are in no position to panic. If you have absolutely collected dog shit, then I understand. I understand the panic. I sincerely love every single one of you guys that tunes into the show. You guys, no matter how talented I believe I am, no matter how great I believe I am, without you guys, since 2015, without you guys tuning into my show, without you resharing, without you liking, without you making comments, replying, I would not have this platform. Forget about me being ridiculously good looking, as Web3 Glossary would tell you. Without the people, I would never be able to continue to grow. So I appreciate you guys showing up every single fucking day and supporting me and allowing me to be a mouthpiece in a generation where they don't allow you to speak freely. And I'm not talking about the current government setup. I'm talking about the people that have been brainwashed to go out there and act like a bunch of Karens and report me consistently when I have a take that they don't like. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to Fran. Everybody else who helps out in the chats. I got DMs stating that a lot of people couldn't get into my chat today because I was restricted on TikTok again. But it's okay. We shall overcome. Right? We shall overcome. You can't stop this pretty face from talking. I'm like the Ric Flair. What did they call me in a magazine? They said one magazine said I'm like the Ric Flair of crypto and politics. I had another, when I was coming up, when I first bursted onto the scene doing, the shows, they said I'm like the next Howard Stern of crypto. So I got to live up to that shit, I guess. But I don't want to be like anybody. I want to be me. I want them to one day say, you're like the next DG of whatever it is. That's what I want. Anyway, enough about me. Listen, if you don't give yourself props, who will, right? If you don't acknowledge yourself, who will? Right? Who will? Anyway, we'll be fine. We will be fine. Crypto will be fine. I believe America will be fine. God bless everybody. Thank you to the guests who came on. Tony from Thinking Crypto. Shout out to him. Tune into some of his stuff. Great stuff. Also, shout out to Alexander, an Iranian American who came on today to literally tell you guys exactly what is happening in Iran. Not to believe the media, who's pushing out, most of media is just pushing out absolute garbage. I will see you at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Okay? On that note, I'm out.